This is Bill Newton, Lions Paw Productions in Concord, North Carolina. And I'm going to pick up and do a second installment, if you will. And I don't know how many are going to be in this particular line of thought or subject. But I'm going to pick up where I left off the other day with regard to the situation, the state of the union, so to speak, or the state of the state, or the current state of affairs, however you want to say it. Since the bombing of Syria, a air base in Syria, by our country, Donald Trump has gained in some sort of popularity. There are some people, of course, don't particularly care for him no matter what he does. He could make free bread for everybody. He could create free bread for everybody, and it wouldn't make any difference. So, having said that, what I'm going to do is get into a short comment. It's not going to be any kind of study. It's just my comment about things that are happening, what I think, what I see, and what has transpired. And I don't know. I don't have an inside track to this thing. I don't have a red phone, so to speak, and I pick up and say, hello, Security Council, can I get your information today? I don't have any of that type of thing. But what I do is have an analytical ability and some experience in life, and I can see some of the things that are going on. Now, how they're going to play out, I don't know. And if they're going to play out, I don't know. But if things go the way they look like they're going, we're in for a real roller coaster of a ride. There's a fellow here in the last few days he's a nationwide threat. A fellow that broke into a gun store called Armageddon Guns. That's interesting. And he put out a manifesto about his displeasure with some things, and his whole thing was mailed to Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. So therefore, there's an ongoing threat. Well, that's just one more in a series of threats that have been given to President Trump from the mass media people all the way down through the lowest gangbanger on the street. Therefore, it's kind of interesting how it's ramped up in severity, seeing all the things that Donald Trump has done positive. And let me go back here real quick and okay, now, if you want to send me an email, it's right there, billnewton4@gmail.com. And any comments or questions, if you have any, or if this thing even interests you, then you can give me a short email. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't go for this nasty stuff and cussing and stuff. If you put anything of that nature in an email, I'm going to delete it. The first time I read the word or phrase, I'm going to delete it, and you're not going to get a response from me. Now, am I somebody? No. I'm just one more ant in the ant pile of the United States of America. But this little ant has an opinion and an insight. Let me say this. I think that we should boycott any further involvement in the Middle East, no matter what. We shouldn't get involved in that type of thing at all. It's their problem, not ours. Therefore, when I say boycott this aggression, regardless of the excuse or the reason, I mean that. We have no business being in the Middle East doing anything like that. What we need to do is make America safe again, just like he campaigned during the time last year when he was on the campaign trail. Make America great again, make America safe again, make America rich again, etc. Those are the things he campaigned on. Not make Syria safe, not make Russia safe, not make North Korea safe, make South Korea safe, make America great, and make America safe. And what I think, and I've said this before, what I think that Donald Trump should do, President Trump, he should take his executive power, what he's got, his commander-in-chief position, which he has, and recall every troop, close down all the bases overseas, period, close them down. They have a way of, if they can't transport our equipment feasibly and economically, they can bury it. They can destroy it so it can never be used. The technology can be scrapped and scrubbed so it can't be used. Therefore, this stuff that they're too deeply embedded in another country is just balderdash. That's being nice about it. So what I think he should do, that's just my opinion, and he and I are the same age. He might be just a few months older than I am, but he and I are the same age. So if I ever wanted to run for president, I don't want to, and I never did, but if I ever did, I'd be qualified to be a president just based on age. Also, the fact that I am an American citizen, in the fact I've served my country. Therefore, I could have been president. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be a senator, a president, congressman, alderman, none of that stuff. Because it's just, to me, it's a waste of time. To me. Because my home is not this world. My home is beyond the sky, beyond the stars. That's where my home is. Right now, I'm seated together in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 6, I believe it is. 1 verse 6 or 2 verse 6. But while I'm here on this earth, in this time in my body, then I have certain, I think, obligations that come along with the place I've been allowed to be born in by the Lord. And from that standpoint, or from that launching ground, I'm going to say this. Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, had no business getting duped into making airstrikes on Syria. Again, like regardless of what the excuse was, I'm sorry those people were if they were, gassed or poisoned or whatever. And I'm sure I wouldn't want it done with my children, my grandchildren. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that. But that country over there is not our country. We have no obligation morally, nor constitutionally, nor legally, nor internationally, or anything to go to their aid and defend them or do anything to help alleviate the problems in their country. We should do that. We should start in earnest staying with this country and making this country safe, keeping this country secure. And therefore, when I was saying withdraw all troops, close down all bases, then bring those soldiers home that are trained, that are either combat hardened, or they've been trained and they've been serving for a while, and put them along our border as our border patrol, so to speak, and our border security, with orders, shoot to kill anyone that is invading our country. I don't care if they call them illegal aliens or they're refugees or whatever. If they come into our country any other way than what is acceptable by law, our law, not their law, our law, then the order should be shoot to kill, period. Don't arrest them and deport them and have them come back 10,000 times so you can spend more money on it. If they want to take the chance to invade our country, then they should be shot and killed right where they are. I'm an American first. I'm another country, if at all, second. Now, I've been in other countries that we had no business being in. We were considered invaders in that country, regardless of whether we called it a war or not. A war that we should fight is a war that threatens this continental United States and our, like Hawaii and Alaska now. Anything that's an aggression upon those, Alaska and Hawaii and these countries, the 48 contiguous states, should be an act of aggression toward us and an act of war. Then we have a right to defend ourselves and use all force necessary to repel and defeat the enemy. But don't go out on somebody else's soil and take up somebody else's offense. I understand there's international laws and all that stuff. They come second to our law. They come second to our people. They come second to the United States of America. They're not first. Therefore, like I say, I'm an American, and I just don't think that was a wise decision on his part to follow the advice he was given to launch those missiles toward that air base over there in Syria, to do whatever he thought he had to do. Period. Just not do it. Period. That was a waste of firepower on something that didn't need to be done. Now, that's my opinion. And with what's going on regarding things that are, and I've heard surrounding President Trump, there are some people that he's trusted that he shouldn't have ever trusted. And I'm glad he took that guy, Steve Bannon, out of the position he was in. Not necessarily that he's a traitor, but I'm glad he pulled him out of the position he was in. But he should get rid of Reince Priebus, period. Just get rid of him. And there's about 2 or 3 others in there he should get rid of. And he should take his son-in-law, Kirshner, and then take him out of there. I understand he's a globalist and really a Democrat. Now, I understand it's family, and I understand what he's doing, and obviously it's Donald Trump. It's his call. But if I were him, I'd start trimming it and getting some people there that he knows he can trust. And then, if he hadn't already done it, start going into all the agencies and all the governmental things and either outright replacing the Obama leftovers or firing them outright. Just walk in unannounced. Walk in their office, say you're gone. Pack your gear. We'll pack your paperwork that you need. You point out what you want. We'll pack it and we'll send it to you. Take their keys. Take their cards. Take their security codes. Everything else. Get them out of there. Don't give them time to secret anything out or hide it or anything else or transfer it over to somebody else that they trust that'll protect their position or whatever. Just get rid of him. He's got to start making his administration, this is my opinion now, his administration more loyal to him and less loyal to the last guy who was in there who was, as I understand, I've seen some video on this thing. It wasn't photoshopped or anything else. He never ever claimed to be an American. He claimed to be a Kenyan, born in Kenya. He did that himself. He did not match the qualifications for running for president, much less being a congressman or a senator or a dog catcher. So for 8 years, we had somebody who's not even a citizen of this country as president. And no wonder he did all sorts of things to try to destroy this country and bring it down. His policies were not pro-USA. And they're going to find out more and more about these people like that Susan Rice outfit and people like that. And his association with Hillary and Bill Clinton. All these tentacles that he put out that were out there to further destroy and undermine this country and weaken it. If Donald Trump, Mr. Trump, President Trump, is actually true and honest about how he is as an American citizen and what he wants to do, and he's a constitutionalist, etc., then he will get rid of all those people. He's got to understand, if he doesn't already understand it, and he's got to know if he doesn't already know it, there's people around him that have no love for him and don't want to see him succeed. Period. I'm sure he's been told that. But if he doesn't take it seriously and do something about it, we're in trouble. Now, that's it for this particular installment. As things develop and as things go on around the world, I'll try to do another one of these, what do you want to call it, installments on the State of the Union or the state of our nation or whatever it may be. Have a good day. This has been Bill Newton, Lions Paw Productions. Concord, North Carolina. And again, you can email me there, billnewton4@gmail.com. And if it, like I said, my stipulation is if it's a decent email and it's worth commenting on, I will comment on it and I will send you an answer. Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't make me. My opinion is what I'll tell you. And if you care for my opinion, that's fine. If not, well, you have your own opinion. And you can send me your opinion too. You take care. Have a good day.